Thank you, moderator. Good morning, everyone. At this time, I would like to call to order the Professional Fiduciaries Bureau Advisory Committee meeting for Wednesday, September 11th, 2024 at 10 a.m. At this time, I would like to proceed to ask Angela Quadro to roll call and establish a quorum. Angela?
Good morning, everybody. As I call your name, please answer that you're present if you are here. Bertha Sanchez Hayden.
Present.
Elizabeth Ichikawa.
Here.
Joyce Anthony.
Present.
James Moore.
Present.
Linda Ng.
Present.
And Alfred Tarragano.
Present.
Thank you. With 6 members present, we do have a quorum.
Thank you, Angela. At this time, we will proceed to item number 3 on our agenda. Advisory Committee members, Bureau Program Manager, staff, and legal counsel introductions. I would like to ask the Advisory Committee members and Bureau staff to introduce themselves. I'll start. I'm Bertha Sanchez Hayden. I'm chair of the Advisory Committee, and I work as a directing attorney in a nonprofit law firm in Los Angeles, California. Before we go on to the other members, I would like to note and take a moment that our former chief, Rebecca May's last day with the Professional Fiduciaries Bureau was on July 12th, 2024. After 7 years with the Bureau, Rebecca accepted a position with another state agency. We appreciate her leadership, her many contributions, and wish her much success in her new position. I would also like to take this time to introduce and welcome Terry McLean, who is the Bureau's new program manager as of August 5th, 2024. Terry previously served as a retired annuitant in the Department of Consumer Affairs Equal Opportunity Office. Having previously worked at the California State Auditor and the Department of Insurance, Terry brings invaluable management and investigative experience to the Bureau. We are so happy that she has joined the team, and we are so grateful for her guidance during this time. Please join me in welcoming Terry. Terry, I'd like to popcorn over to you.
Good morning, everyone. I appreciate the kind words, Chairwoman. I am Terry McLean. I'm the program manager of the Professional Fiduciaries Bureau. I am honored to have the opportunity to oversee the Bureau currently until the Bureau Chief position is filled. Chairwoman, I'll turn the meeting over to you.
Thank you, Terry. And thank you again for your quick leadership in the transition. I will now call on the advisory committee members to introduce themselves. Vice Chair Elizabeth Ichikawa.
Good morning. My name is Elizabeth Ichikawa. I am the vice chair on the advisory committee, and I currently serve as the supervising court investigator in Solano County. Thank you.
Joyce Anthony.
I'm Joyce Anthony. I'm a professional fiduciary licensed by the state of California. I've been a professional fiduciary since 2005. I practice in Los Altos in the Bay Area.
Thank you. James Moore.
Good morning. I'm Jim Moore. I am a professional fiduciary here in Sacramento County. I also do some work in other surrounding counties as a professional fiduciary as well.
Thank you. Linda Ng.
Good morning. I am an enrolled agent and a tax professional in Sacramento. Thank you.
Alfred Tarango.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Alfred Torregano. I'm a multidisciplined artist and serial entrepreneur, business owner from Inglewood, California. Happy to be here with everybody. Good morning.
Thank you, Alfred. Apologies for the mispronunciation. We'll get that right for the next time. Michael Knotes.
Hi, everyone. I'm an attorney in the legal division here at the Department of Consumer Affairs. Your normal legal counsel is Helen Jeffroy, but I'm filling in today. Nice to be here with you all.
Thank you for filling in, Michael. Angela Quadra.
Hi, I'm Angela Quadra, the program analyst for the Professional Fiduciaries Bureau.
Thank you, Angela. And thank you, everyone, for taking the time to introduce yourselves. And Terry, thank you again for your introduction. It's a pleasure to get to know you better as well. We will now proceed to item number 4 on the agenda. public comment. Oh,
Madam, we do need, well, I guess if we're going to public comment now, that's fine, but we will need to take public comment on each agenda item. So let's go ahead and open for public comment, and that can be on agenda item 3 as well as agenda item 4, public comment on items not on the agenda.
just a moment as a process of procedure may, I think what I was going to read next was the note on what can be allowed as on item 4, the directions regarding public comment and what they have to be related to.
That's perfect.
Okay, so apologies, everyone. I will read the statement regarding our process regarding public comments and then call for public comment on the items items we have discussed so far. So California law prohibits advisory committee members from discussing or taking action on any matter not on the agenda. However, this item offers an opportunity for the public to comment on items that are not listed on today's agenda. Please be aware that public comment during this agenda item should provide information to the advisory committee members and is not meant to be a discussion between advisory committee members and the public. Though this may seem at times that the advisory committee members to the Bureau staff are not being responsive, following these guidelines is critical to ensuring the rules of the Open Meetings Act are followed. Before the advisory committee asks for public comment, I ask individuals making comments not to discuss pending complaints, pending licensing applications, or pending disciplinary actions that may come before the Bureau's legal counsel. Such discussions are considered ex parte communications by potentially providing information to the Bureau's legal counsel outside of an administrative record in a case. The advisory committee requests that you also respect the privacy of others by not revealing the names, other personal information, and conditions of any individuals involved in a case or complaint. The advisory committee can receive comments regarding the Bureau's process in general. However, it cannot receive comments on specific cases. If you want the advisory committee to discuss a topic on today's agenda, you may request that the item be considered for a future meeting agenda during public comment on agenda item number 11. However, please be aware that an agenda item recommendation does not obligate the Bureau to fulfill the request. If your comment is related to an item on today's agenda, please wait until we get to that agenda item. Comments at this time are only for items not on the agenda. To allow the advisory committee sufficient time to conduct its schedule of business, each public comment will be limited to 2 minutes. Please do not duplicate or repeat the comments of a previous speaker. I will now turn to public comment. Since we are having a hybrid meeting, I will ask the public comments. I will start with public comments on each agenda item regarding this one with individuals attending the meeting in Sacramento, followed by the individuals attending this meeting via WebEx. I would now like to invite members of the public attending the meeting in Sacramento to provide comments on the agenda item 4, which is again, items not on the agenda. And I'll pause here for council's direction if it should include comments on introductions and roll call.
Yes, let's go ahead and do both. Thank you.
Thank you. So I would now like to invite members, so I will restate that. I would now like to invite members of the public attending the meeting in Sacramento to provide comments on items number 2 and 3 and agenda item 4, which is items on the agenda. Terry, can you please let me know if there's any members of the public in Sacramento that would like to make comment?
Chairwoman, yes, we have our DCA's Deputy Director, Christine Lally, here, who would like to make a comment.
Thank you so much, Terry. Good morning, members. Christine Lally, Chief Deputy Director here at the Department of Consumer Affairs. I just wanted to join in your appreciation of Terry joining the team. She did join in early August, and she has not skipped a beat. And we are so appreciative of her leadership and her detailed oriented, and she's just so organized, just digging in, and she's doing a wonderful job. And I just want to assure all of the members as well as all of the stakeholders that with Terry at the helm during this transition, you're in very good hands. And anything that the department can do to support the advisory committee as well as the staff at the Bureau we are more than happy to do. And please reach out to us if you have any questions or any concerns. But more importantly, just thank you, Terry. And again, a very warm welcome. And we're so, so appreciative of you jumping in and leading the Bureau during this time.
I would like to thank my boss for her kind words. Chairwoman Sanchez Hayden, we do not have any members of the public in person here in Sacramento at this time. So if that changes, I'll make you aware. So for now, please go straight to virtual comments until further notice.
Thank you so much. Moderator, I will now ask if you can transition to call for public comments from any individuals attending this meeting via WebEx.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I've opened up the Q&A panel. If any member of the public would like to make a comment, please either raise your hand or type comment using the field in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. We are displaying instructions, and I do see we have a hand up from Jody. So Jody, you should be able to unmute yourself. All right, Jody, there you go. Jody, you're unmuted.
Hi, this is Jody Sussman. I had previously made comments back on March 19th, 2024. I would like to make a comment about the fact that the Bureau's mission is to protect the consumers, but we're not being protected. There is a group of corrupt fiduciaries in Southern California, Orange County area, who basically lie to the courts, and they have nothing to do with what is in the best interest or for the care of the people, the most vulnerable people, the elderly and special needs children that are put in their care. This is just a money-making racket. They claim that their wards need 24/7 care, and they put aggressive, take out loans against the property, predatory loans, and then they force everyone into the sale of their property. Everyone is silenced because of the fact that these corrupt attorneys that they work with get us all to sign gag orders that also include we can never speak to people like the Fiduciary Bureau and make complaints. We can't do anything against these people. They've ruined my mother's life, and I've had a complaint with you that has been ignored for a couple of years now. We're just completely frustrated and
seconds left
and beside ourselves. And we really do hope that you hire more investigators to go after cases like this, because they have tainted your whole industry, the corrupt fiduciaries that are self-serving just to take over assets and pay themselves, and they're destroying lives, and it's been alleged they've killed off their wards. Thank you very much.
All right, and the next request for comment is from Farnaz Rahimi. Farnaz, you should be able to unmute yourself. All right, yes, we can hear you.
Good morning, the board meeting committee. I am seconding on whatever Jody Sussman said, the previous presenter, and I'm not going to repeat whatever she said. I'm one of the victims by one of the licensed fiduciary by the bureaus, and whatever we have done, nothing has gone as it appears to us. As long as they pay their annual dues, nothing's going to happen to us due to lack of investigator or a budget to investigate these people that ruining our life and stealing our trust monies. And I have subpoena document. It was ignored by Ms. Rebecca May. And my question at this point is, so Ms. Terry McLean, she is the in transition interim chief until you get the new chief. Am I correct, counsel? I'm asking that question from the council in present.
Commenter, this is just public comment time. We do not respond to questions. So please continue your comment. Thank you.
Thank you. So my comment is, so nobody's going to answer who's when and who is going to be the chief. So I understand that. Whatever comment is that we are lots of us victims here, that nothing is happening, not even by the bureau, due to lack of budget or whatever they're claiming.
Seconds left.
And then also due to nobody cares. So we are the victims, and the fiduciary has to protect us victims, not the fiduciaries that conning us. Thank you.
All right, this is a moderator. I see no further requests for comment. Madam Chair, I return the floor back to you.
Thank you, moderator, and thank you to those who provided comment in Sacramento as well as via WebEx. We are now proceeding to item number 5 on our agenda. Terry, please read the Bureau's mission statement.
Thank you. Our mission is to protect consumers through licensing, consumer education, and enforcement of the Professional Fiduciaries Act, and promote and uphold competency and ethical standards across the profession. Madam Chair, I'll return the mic back to you.
Thank you, Terry. At this time, I'd like to ask if there's any comments or discussion from advisory committee members. Seeing as there are no comments from advisory committee members, and having been informed that there are no members of the public in the meeting room in Sacramento, I would now like to ask the moderator to call for public comments from any individuals attending this meeting via WebEx.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I've opened up the Q&A panel. If any member of the public would like to comment on the reading of the mission statement, please either raise your hand or type comment using the field in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. We'll give you a moment. All right, I see no request for comment at this time. Madam Chair, I return the floor back to you.
Thank you. At this time, we will proceed to agenda item 6, discussion and approval of the advisory committee meeting minutes from June 12th, 2024. Are there any suggested edits to the June 12th, 2024 meeting minutes by the committee members?
I'm sorry, this is the moderator, and I see I missed a hand that came up right as I was closing public comment. Shall we take a moment to take that comment?
Yes, moderator. So
All right.
at this time, we will return back to agenda item 5, the portion where we are calling for public comment for individuals attending via WebEx. I will turn it over to the moderator for public comment.
Thank you so much. And we have a comment request from Jody. Jody, you had a comment on the mission statement?
Yes, ma'am. This goes back to the fact that it says in your mission statement that it's to hold these fiduciaries to a higher level and to protect us, the consumer. The most notorious Orange County fiduciary that was literally caught for abuse against elderly and for charging 24 to 36 hours in a single day for fees. All she got was a slap on the wrist and I think it was a $2,500 fine, and she had to surrender her license. She saved face. She got to walk away with all the money her and her attorneys basically embezzled from people. There was no accountability. And that's why we are so frustrated. These people are getting away with horrible crimes against our loved ones. And they have also affected our lives by milking us dry of money, trying to defend our family. And, you know, it's nearly impossible to get any restitution because the Fiduciary Bureau and the State Bar basically could care less about these crimes. It's only if these people, if the attorneys and the fiduciaries continue to pay their fees, they are in good standing no matter how many complaints of
30
violations
seconds left.
that we've all put against them. I'm just begging you. How many more decades of complaints from us consumers are there going to have to be before there's a systemic change. That's my comment. Thank you.
All right, this is the moderator, and Madam Chair, I return the floor back to you.
Thank you. And thank you to those who provided comment via WebEx. At this time, we will now go back to agenda item 6, excuse me, the discussion and approval of the advisory committee meeting notes from June 12th, 2024. Again, I will ask if there are any suggested edits to the June 12th, 2024 meeting minutes by committee members.
Yes,
Seeing- yes.
this is Linda Ng, and I'd like to offer a couple of edits, very small edits, on the minutes. On page 4, the second last line of that page, right in the middle, as can name as, either take out a or an, or take out the word a. And also the next page on item 10, I believe the word should be diversity, equity, and inclusion. So it should be equity. And that's all the edits I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Angela, have we taken note of the suggested edits?
I have.
Council, can I just double check that I can proceed to the motion as those suggested edits may be considered not non-substantive?
Yes, the motion should be to approve the minutes with the changes made in our discussion today. So if someone would like to say so moved, that can be the motion.
So move. Oh.
And is there a second to the motion?
I'll second. This is Linda Ng.
Is there any discussion or questions or comments from the advisory committee regarding the motion?
I'm sorry, who was the first? This is Angela. Who? I
Joyce,
didn't hear.
for the record, Joyce Anthony is
Thank
the
you.
one. As there are no discussion, questions, or comments from advisory committee members, and as I have been informed that there are no members of the public attending in Sacramento, I would now like to ask our WebEx moderator to call from public comments from any individuals attending this meeting via WebEx.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I've opened up the Q&A panel. If any member of the public would like to comment on the approval of the meeting minutes, please either raise your hand or type comment using the field in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. We are displaying instructions and we'll give you a moment. All right, this is a moderator. I see no request for comment at this time. Madam Chair, I return the floor back to you.
Thank you, moderator. At this time, Angela, could you please repeat the motion and call the roll vote?
Hi, yes, the motion is to approve the minutes with the changes that were suggested at today's meeting. A yes vote will, as I call your name, would approve that. Bertha Sanchez Hayden,
Yes.
Elizabeth Ichikawa,
Yes.
Joyce Anthony,
Yes.
James Moore,
Yes.
Linda Ng,
Yes.
and Alfred Torregano.
Yes.
With 6 members voting a yes, we will approve the minutes and they will be posted to the website with those changes that were suggested today. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela, and thank you to our council for direction. We will now proceed to item number 7 on our agenda, the update from the Director's Office of the DCA Executive Staff. I would like to invite Deputy Director Melissa Greer to present an update on behalf of the Department of Consumers Affairs Executive Office.
Hello and good morning, Chair Sanchez-Hayden, Vice Chair Ishikawa, Ms. McLean, and Advisory Committee members. I'm Melissa Gear, Deputy Director for Board and Bureau Relations, and I appreciate the opportunity to share the Department of Consumer Affairs update this morning. Before I get started, I'd like to welcome Ms. Terry McLean to the Advisory Committee. The BBR team looks forward to working with you. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us during your transition and as you become more familiar with your role. We're excited to have you back at DCA. Now I will share our updates. Budget Letter 2420, Vacancy Savings and Position Elimination. Work continues to address the state's budget deficit. At the end of July, the Department of Finance issued Budget Letter 2420 that outlines the assumed reduction at the state's workforce by 10,000 vacancies and $1.5 billion. The Department of Finance estimated a target reduction for each state department by reviewing the department's vacancies and then assuming half of the savings from those vacant positions. DCA worked closely with agency and each board and bureau to provide detailed notes, requested exclusions, and justifications positions by position. DCA submitted a proposed vacancy reduction plan to the Department of Finance in mid-August and is awaiting its approval. Budget Letter 2424, Government Efficiencies and Reductions. Excuse me. Additionally, on August 16, 2024, the Department of Finance issued Budget Letter 2424, which outlines the reduction of state departmental budgets by 7.95% in order to achieve state savings of $2.1 billion in 24-25 and future fiscal years. DCA is identifying fixed cost exemptions that cannot be reduced, such as the Office of Attorney General and the Office of Administrative Hearings, so they can be excluded from consideration. The final budget reduction plan will be submitted to agency and the Department of Finance for approval later this month. DCA's budget office continues to work closely with each board and bureau on these reduction requests, while always balancing our mission of consumer protection. These are challenging budget exercises, and the department would like to acknowledge board and bureau leaders for their thoughtful and diligent efforts, and often under very quick deadlines. DCA will continue to share updates from the Department of Finance as they are received. As a reminder, DCA boards and bureaus must continue to scrutinize expenditures and maximize cost savings, only authorizing expenditures that are mission critical and essential to operations and public services. DCA's innovation recognized. DCA is very proud to share that on August 20th, 2024, Jason Piccioni, DCA's Deputy Director for the Office of Information Services, was honored for developing DCA's Federal Professional License Portability and State Registration Portal. Jason received the Best of California Award in the Innovation Serving the Public category at the 2024 California Government Innovation Summit. Launched last fall, DCA boards and bureaus have accepted over 176 individuals to practice in California through this online portal. DCA did not receive any additional funding or staffing for its implementation and has worked hard to ensure it is efficiently serving military service members and their spouses relocating to California. The online portal Jason designed and implemented has been used by the U.S. Department of Defense as a model for other states. Lastly, as a reminder for member Tarragano, the last board member orientation training, or BMOT, will be held on October 22nd. This will be a virtual training and you can register via the learning management system. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact board and bureau relations. Again, thank you for this opportunity to join you today, and I'm happy to answer any questions from the advisory committee.
Thank you for that update. Are there any comments from the advisory committee members?
I do, if I may.
Yes.
Good morning. I would love for you to, I don't know if you said it and I missed it. If you could tell us what that online portal is that Mr. Jason implemented. I just wanted to know about that again.
The online portal that was mentioned is to help our military spouses and licensees register for their licenses through the different boards and bureaus with the Department of Consumer Affairs.
Copy that. Thank you.
Mhm.
Are there any other comments from advisory committee members? As there are no other comments from advisory committee members, and I have been informed that there are no members of the public in Sacramento, I would now like to ask the moderator to call for public comments from any individuals attending this meeting via WebEx.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If any member of the public would like to comment on the update from the Director's Office, please either raise your hand or type comment using the field in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. We are displaying instructions and will give you a moment. All right, I see no requests for comment at this time. Madam Chair, I return the floor back to you.
Thank you. And thank you again, Deputy Director Greer, for the update. We will now transition to item number 8 on our agenda, the budget report. I would like to invite Brendan View from the Department of the Consumer Affairs Budget Office to present an update on the Bureau's budget.
Good morning. My name is Brendan Vu, and I'm a budget analyst with the DCA Budget Office. I am here alongside Harmony De Filippo, the budget manager. I want to thank the advisory committee and the Bureau chief for allowing me to present on agenda item 8, the Bureau's expenditure projections and fund condition statement. First, I'm going to start with the Bureau's expenditures, page 17 of your materials. These projections are based on data with 2023 to 24 pre-actuals. This report includes 2022 to 23 actual expenditures in the green, as well as 2023 to 24 budgeted and pre-actual expenditures in blue and orange. As we move to the end of the document, you will see the Bureau had a beginning base budget of a little over 1.1 million and is projected to spend a total of approximately 751,000, creating a reversion to the Bureau's fund of approximately $369,000, with a reversion percentage of 33.04%. The next document I will be going over is the Bureau's revenue projections, page 18 of your materials. This report includes receipts collected through June and provides the projected revenue to year end. I will go further into projections as we transition to the next slide. The next slide, page 19 of your materials, is the Bureau's fund condition statement. As a reminder, we read this document top to bottom, left to right. The left column is the Bureau's prior year 2023-24 pre-actuals. It shows the Bureau began 23-24 with a balance of $254,000, and the Bureau collected $841,000 in revenues, with $141,000 from initial fees, $664,000 from license renewals, and $36,000 collected from the issuance of citations, fines, delinquent fees, and other revenue. The Bureau expended $797,000, which includes $46,000 in direct draws to the fund for statewide pro rata and pension payments. The Bureau closed 2023-24 with the reserve balance of $298,000, or 3 months in reserve. For current year, the Bureau projects revenues of just over 1.1 million, with 118,000 projected from initial license fees and a little over $1 million from renewal fees, 39,000 from the issuance of citations, fines, delinquent fees, and other revenue. The Bureau's 2024-25 expenditures are currently based on the governor's budget at 1.192 million between authorized expenditures and direct draws to the fund, leaving the Bureau with a fund balance of just over $276,000 or 2.7 months in reserve. The Budget Office will continue to monitor the Bureau's revenue and expenditures and report back to the Bureau with monthly expenditure projections as we continue to close fiscal months in the current fiscal year. A few things to note for the Bureau's fund condition. The fund condition is a snapshot in time. One of the main factors driving expenditure increases in the future years is a result of personnel service adjustments. These include general salary increases, as well as employee compensation and retirement rate adjustments. The Budget Office includes a conservative ongoing 3% increase to expenditures on the fund condition statement to account for these incremental adjustments. You will also notice revenue is projected static in the out years. Current year is based on the governor's budget and will be updated with FM projections at the next meeting. Lastly, I would like to note to the Bureau that any future legislation or unanticipated events could result in the Bureau's need for additional resources, which would create cost pressure on the fund. The Budget Office will continue to monitor the Bureau's fund condition statement and keep an open line of communication with the Bureau Chief for any future needs or expectations. That concludes my presentation. Again, thank you for allowing me to present at today's meeting. I will now be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Brendan. Are there any questions from advisory committee members? As there are no questions from advisory committee members, and I've been informed that there's no members of the public in Sacramento, I would now like to ask the moderator to call for public comments via WebEx. Moderator?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I've opened up the Q&A panel. If any member of the public would like to comment on the budget report, please either raise your hand or type comment using the field in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. We are displaying instructions and we'll give you a moment. All right, I see no request for comment at this time. Madam Chair, I return the floor back to you.
Thank you. And thank you, Brendan, again for that update. We will now proceed to item number 9 on the agenda, a legislative update and discussion. I would like to invite Julian Allen from the Department of Consumer Affairs, Legislative Affairs Office to present the legislative update.
Hi, good morning. So my name is Julianne Allen. I'm a legislative analyst here in the Division of Legislative Affairs in the department. So I am here to provide you an update. We only have one bill to discuss today, and that was Assembly Bill 2148. So that failed passage, and I do have a correction here from the summary that's in your materials. That says that it failed passage out of the Assembly Committee on Appropriations suspense file and is dead. It actually failed passage out of the Senate's Committee on Appropriations suspense file. So that typo needs to be corrected in on the record, I guess. So that bill, what it would have done is allowed for professional fiduciary corporations to register with the Bureau. And there would have been associated fees with that. So that is not happening for the moment. That bill is not moving forward. So as far as upcoming legislative dates, the ones you need to know, and these are also in your materials, but so September 30th is the last day for the governor to sign or veto bills that did make it out of the legislature. And then October 2nd, bills enacted by October 2nd will take effect on January 1st, 2025. And then on December 2nd of this year, regular session of the legislature will convene for an organizational session for the 2025-2026 legislative session. So I think that is all the updates I have for you.
Thank you so much for that update. Are there any questions or comments from the advisory committee members? Seeing as there's no questions or comments from the advisory committee members and having been previously informed that there are no members of the public in Sacramento, I will now ask the moderator to call for public comments from any individuals attending this meeting via WebEx. Moderator?
Thank you, Madam Chair. If any member of the public would like to comment on the legislative update, please either raise your hand or type comment using the field in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. We are displaying instructions and will give you a moment. All right, this is a moderator. I see no request for comment at this time. Madam Chair, I return the floor back to you.
Thank you. And thank you, Julianne, again for that update and flagging the important legislative dates coming up. At this time, we will now proceed to item number 10, Bureau updates. Terry, can you please present the Bureau updates?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The statistics are in the materials on page 21 if you would like to follow along with me. Before I begin, please note as it relates to the licensing statistics, these numbers reflect what the Bureau is able to control. Any wait times associated with our examination provider are outside of the Bureau's control. For licensing statistics for fiscal year July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024, we have total licenses issued since July 1st of 2008, 1,435. The number of licenses by status as of March 31st, 2024, there were 825 active, 8 inactive, 17 retired. For applications received during the most recent fiscal year, there was 120. The initial licenses issued during the most current fiscal year was 63. Processing time for completion of applications. For the first quarter of July through September of last fiscal year, there was 17 days from receipt to approval to sit for an exam and 8 days from passing the exam to issuance of a license. For the second quarter, October through December of 2023, 21 days from receipt to approval to sit for an exam, 8 days from passing exam to issuance of a license. For the third quarter, January through March of 2024, 24 days from receipt to approval to sit for an exam, 10 days from passing the exam to issuance of a license. For the fourth quarter, April through June of 2024, 16 days from receipt to approval to sit for an exam, 7 days from passing the exam to issuance of a license. For renewals processed for the first quarter of 2023, 224 renewals were processed. For the second quarter of 2023, 204 renewals were processed. For the third quarter of fiscal year 23-24, there was 167 renewals processed. And for the fourth quarter, which was April through June of 2024, there was 153 processed. The processing timeline for the first quarter of 2023, 13 days to process renewals. For the second quarter of 2023, 11 days to process renewals. For the third quarter of 2024, 18 days. For the fourth quarter in 2024, 18 days. Moving on to enforcement statistics. For the last fiscal year of 2023 through 2024, we received 196 complaints. The Bureau closed for fiscal year 20 through 21, 3 complaints. The Bureau closed for complaints received for fiscal year 21 through 22, 9 complaints. For fiscal year 2022 through 2023, the Bureau closed 40 complaints. And for fiscal year 23 through 24, the Bureau closed 123 complaints. The total closed complaints was 175 for last fiscal year. The average days to close a complaint was at 150 days. Complaints pending. For complaints opened in fiscal year 20 through 21, one complaint is pending. For complaints opened in fiscal year 21 through 22, one complaint pending. For complaints opened in fiscal year 2022 through 2023, 23 complaints are pending. And for complaints open in fiscal year 23 to 24, 73 complaints are pending. That's a total of 98 complaints pending. For last fiscal year, 35 citations were issued and 3 Attorney General cases were initiated. I would like to mention that Rebecca May was going to offer a follow-up during this meeting in regards to a question asked by member Joyce Anthony during the last meeting. There was a question asked in regards to the third quarter renewals being lower than the prior 2 quarters. The question was asked as to whether it was a result of the fee increase. The Bureau has determined that historically, prior to January 1st of 2024, renewals were historically lower in the third quarter for some unknown reason. It may have been based on the renewal expiration date, which was based on a licensee's birth month. As of January 1st of 2024, renewals now are issued based on a 12-month period, and based on the last month that the renewal issues, the renewal will expire on the last day of the month. We have noted that new applications received during fiscal year 23-24 increased by 38 over the prior fiscal year, but we will continue to monitor the statistics and determine whether licensing continuation in the profession and new individuals seeking licensure changes significantly. In regards to outreach, I would like to thank Chairwoman Sanchez Hayden for sharing with us an upcoming outreach opportunity that I will be attending on behalf of the Bureau on October 8th of 2024. The outreach event is the California for All Ages and Disabilities Day of Action. We continue to encourage any of you to email the Bureau if you learn of any outreach events the Bureau should consider attending. For our e-newsletter, the summer 2024 e-newsletter, has been disseminated to the interested parties list and is posted on the Bureau's website. If there is any item you would like to see in the newsletter, advisory committee members and members of the public, we ask that you please do not hesitate to reach out to the Bureau with your suggestions. To stay in the know about our Bureau, we encourage all of you who have not yet done so to sign up for the Bureau's interested parties list on our website. Additionally, the Bureau is on Facebook and Twitter, so we ask you to follow us on both social media platforms. The Bureau is happy to announce that we hired a new enforcement analyst who started in July 2024. We're excited to have a new team member who is going to assist the Bureau in its effort to protect vulnerable consumers receiving professional fiduciary services. Moving on to the strategic plan update, I've incorporated this update into my program manager update. So as we slowly chip away at the strategic plan, we are still in process of moving to paperless. That includes adhering to the established retention schedule, purging obsolete files, as well as scanning and retaining new documents electronically. The Bureau analysts are in process of completing desk manuals for enforcement and processing new and renewal license applications. Sometime in future, the Bureau plans to have the Bureau analysts cross-trained, so all will be trained on licensing and enforcement. In regards to the diversity, equity, and inclusion, which I'll refer to as DEI, the update on that is the Bureau is updating the strategic plan To include the DEI objectives, in July and August of 2024, our SOLID team conducted a DEI survey-based scan and analysis. The Bureau staff will be meeting in October with the SOLID team for a supplemental strategic planning session. During the meeting, Bureau leadership and staff will discuss and evaluate the survey-based scan results in an effort to help create or modify objectives that the Bureau will include in its work during its ongoing strategic plan period. I'll now open up to any questions from the advisory committee members.
This is Joyce, Anthony. Thank you very much for looking into the renewal process timing for the quarter. And that's interesting that historically, it looks like the third quarter does go down. I notice, of course, that the fourth quarter has also gone down. So I appreciate, you guys continuing to look at that just to see if it is based on birth dates and renewals, or if there is some effect of increasing the renewal fees. I also just wanted to ask either Terry or Angela, I just wanted to confirm on the Attorney General cases initiated 3, was that just for this year or just, I think that's just for this year, right?
That's for the fiscal year 23-24.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Are there any other
Yeah, I'm
questions?
sorry. Thank you. So I appreciate you sharing. I was just wondering, seeing that the public comments were a bit, dire, seeing that there are citations being written. If you could all just, for the record, just express to the public and even for me as a new member, what is the process during that 150 days of a complaint or some type of disciplinary case or file that we're looking at? How does it escalate? If we could just break down the steps a little bit so we can just understand what that process looks like to a citation, and even talk about maybe how many citations a licensee may be able to get before they get their license revoked. Thank you.
Well, I would like to say that the process in general is a complaint comes in, our analyst completes an intake of the complaint, makes a determination as to how we'll proceed, whether it's jurisdictional or not. And after preliminary analysis, if it's determined that an investigation is warranted, the analyst who conducts the investigation will investigate based on the parameters that they have, in the authority that they have. And each allegation is different, so there are different statutes and or regulations that are applicable. Ultimately, if a determination is made that there's substantiation to the allegation, the analyst has the option of moving towards a citation, and the severity of the allegation and the egregiousness of substantiated complaint is what determines whether it'll be a citation with a fine, citation without a fine, or whether we're going to move towards a revocation. Anyone that receives a citation has an opportunity to come before the bureau chief, or currently me as a program manager, in an informal conference to present their case as to why the citation should be reduced or dismissed altogether. And after determination is made, within 30 days, we send them our determination, and they then have an opportunity within 30 days of receiving our determination to request a formal hearing with the Attorney General's office. And then the process proceeds from there. Having one analyst that handled the investigations primarily for the past few years, you can understand the number of complaints that probably came in versus her ability to manage, and I think an average closeout date of 150 days based on the multitude of complaints that she had to review is pretty commendable. But we're very excited that we now have a new analyst in place to help with the enforcement. And me, with my background in enforcement, I am here also to help move the process along. And we definitely hope to see the number change and improve as far as the average days to close. And I hope that answers your question.
That did. Just one piece. Is there a number of citations that a licensee can get before revocation, or is that just based on discretion of the Bureau?
There's not a number. It's based on the egregiousness of the complaint and whether it's substantiated. Someone can go straight to revocation based on an allegation and the egregiousness of that allegation.
Thank you. I just appreciate you sharing that info. Maybe that helps the public, understand the process a bit better. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is Linda A, and I also have a questions regarding those licenses issued since 2008. So looking at the number, and I calculated the average license issues is still under 100 a year. And so my question is there a goal to increase that number one? And I know we're looking at those and the outreach events, how vigorous are we doing the outreach events and newsletter, all those, how are we going to do the outreach? And do we need to help any of those? And also because when we have more licensees, then we have more renewals, and then the other things would come along. So I just want to, get a feel of the Bureau goals.
Well, I can say within the next 90 days, one of the goals is definitely for me to reach out to the advisory committee members to work collectively with you all to figure out different ways that we can help educate the public and licensees. One of the goals that the Bureau has is to start sending out, reminder notifications prior to renewal, letting them know that the staff is available to answer questions if they have any, questions or concerns about their renewals, so that we can minimize the number of citations that result from someone not adhering to the requirement of submitting an annual report within 60 days of the renewal, or even submitting their renewal timely. And so we look forward to working, cooperatively with all of you, and maybe we can brainstorm and come up with some ideas on how we can better educate our licensees and even the public. We are, still working on updating our website and to make sure that it's stronger and we have more information available.
All right.
Does that answer your question?
Yes. I know DCA, in the past, they go out to a lot of events. What I'm saying is like, how do you, what kind of outreach events or outreach effort will you be doing? I know we're talking, the chair was just saying something, there's a outreach event out there and encourage everybody to participate. But, based on our record, not many people are aware of this Bureau, can, how are we going to, enforce? I remember a couple meetings ago, there's an explanations why there are people who are not coming to the bureau to get their license, or so if you can refresh my memory, if we are the professional fiduciary, that means to say, if someone has, an estate or something, we need to help them. So, for those unprofessional people, how do we deal with those situations?
Member Eng, this is Michael Kanotes, the legal counsel.
Sure.
I think we're off the agenda item now. I've allowed the conversation to proceed to some extent, but if you'd like, you could bring that up as a future agenda item, and you could have a more robust discussion about those issues.
Great, thank you. Yeah, it would be great to know. Thank you.
Thank you, Council. Thank you, members who provided comments during that portion. As I have been informed that there are no members of the public in Sacramento, I would now like to ask our moderator to ask for public comment from members attending via WebEx. Moderator?
Madam Chair, I'm sorry, can I
Oh,
interrupt for a
I
minute?
apologize.
We
Yes,
have two individuals that did come in, and so I want to ask, are you individuals that would like to make a comment? Okay, so we have no members of the public that's interested in commenting at this time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I will transition to pausing and asking if those members for the agenda items that are left. As there are members of the public that are attending in Sacramento, but no one has indicated that they are would like to make a comment. We are now proceeding to ask I'm now proceeding to ask the moderator to ask for public comment from individuals attending via WebEx. Moderator?
Thank you, Madam Chair. If any member of the public would like to comment on Agenda Item 10, the Bureau updates, please either raise your hand or type comment using the field in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. We are displaying instructions, and I do see we already have a couple of raised hands, starting with Farnaz Rahimi. Farnaz, you should be able to unmute yourself.
This is Farnaz Rahimi. If you could hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you, Madam Program Manager, Ms. Terry McLean, for explaining the process. And thank you for those two of the people who made comment regarding this enforcement, which it's been, I would like to say, horrible for the last few years under Ms. Rebecca Mays as a chief. So we are hoping under this new program manager, this enforcement, it's going to be more effectively. We are glad that you hired somebody in July, but no name has been shared with us. We know Ms. Sulu has been doing that all by herself. We appreciate if, with your enforcement, due to having background in enforcement, these fiduciaries that are not acting as the best of the people that they are in charge to act for their protection would be disciplined accordingly. And the Bureau's mission should not be only that citing or fining people based on only if they pay the annual fees, because it appears that only what they care. But we would like all the people, we have filed complaint over complaint, or my complaint.
30 seconds left.
My complaint has been more than 150 days. It hasn't been, I kept sending documents which shows that numerous times this fiduciary has been breached his fiduciary duties, but nothing has happened. Thank you so much.
And our next request for comment is from Jody. Jody, you should be able to unmute yourself.
Hello, this is Jody Sussman. I'm very concerned because it's almost misleading that it says these complaints get settled up within 150 days on average. My complaint has been pending since 2021.
To the member of the public that's speaking, this is Michael Kanotes, legal counsel. Your comments do not relate to the agenda item that we're currently dealing with, which is the enforcement statistics. You had an opportunity to make comment in the item that related to public comments for not on the agenda. So I would ask you to constrain your comments to the statistics and the discussion that occurred, not regarding individual complaints or cases. Thank you.
Yes, sir. But I understood that this was, you were just talking about how long it takes for these cases to get resolved. And I was making a comment that it's misleading that they claimed it takes 150 days after mine's been pending for almost 3 years. That's all.
Great. Thank you for your comment.
All right, this is the moderator. I see no further requests for comment. Madam Chair, I return the floor back to you.
Thank you, moderator, and thank you again, Terry, for that very thorough update. We are now proceeding to agenda item 11, future agenda items. Angela, what items have you recorded from our meeting today for consideration for inclusion on a future agenda?
I've not recorded any specific items, but I know that Ms. Ng would like to add something. So I was going to try to rephrase what I think that she was asking for, and then she can correct me if I'm wrong. Ms. Ng had asked, she wanted to know what type of specific outreach that PFB is going to do in order to increase its licensees number. Is that correct, Ms. Ng?
That's correct. Thank you.
Thank you. So I've added that to the possible future agenda items.
Thank you. Are there any other items advisory committee members would like to add? As no one has indicated that there were further comments, I would now like to invite members of the public attending the meeting in Sacramento to provide comments about this agenda item. Terry, are there any members of the public in Sacramento who would like to provide comment?
We would like to open it up to any members of the public here in Sacramento who would like to make a comment. Madam Chair, at this time, I do not see any members of the public who has indicated that they would like to make a comment.
Thank you so much, Terry. At this moment, I would like to ask the moderator to call for public comments from any individuals attending the meeting via WebEx.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have opened up the Q&A panel. If any member of the public would like to comment on future agenda items, please either raise your hand or type comment using the field in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. We are displaying instructions and will give you a moment. All right, this is a moderator. I see no requests for comment at this time. Madam Chair, I return the floor back to you.
Thank you, moderator, and thank you, Angela, for your help with this agenda item number 11. We'll now proceed to agenda item 12. Please note the future dates noted on the screen. At this time, if the advisory committee members could please look at their calendars for their availability for the 2025 meeting dates. The Bureau intends to schedule meetings on the following dates: Wednesday, March 12th, 2025, Wednesday, June 11th, 2025, Wednesday, September 10th, 2025, and Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. I also will pause for a second and again emphasize that the next advisory committee meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, December 11th, 2024 at 10 a.m. Are there any questions or comments from the advisory committee members regarding the dates? As there are no questions or comments from the advisory committee members, I would like to invite members of the public attending this meeting in Sacramento to provide comments about this agenda item. Terry, can you please inform me if there are any members of the public in Sacramento who would like to make comment?
Madam Chair, there are no members of the public at this time in Sacramento who would like to make a comment.
Thank you, Terry. I will now ask the moderator to call for public comments from any individuals attending this meeting via WebEx. Moderator?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I've opened up the Q&A panel. If any member of the public would like to comment on future meeting dates, please either raise your hand or type comment using the field in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. Or we are displaying instructions and we'll give you a moment. All right, I see no request for comment at this time. Madam Chair, I return the floor back to you.
Thank you, moderator. At this time, we have completed our agenda items, and I will call this meeting to be adjourned at 11:13. Thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to meeting with you again on December 11th, 2024.